Buenos dias, buenas tardes, and buenas noches, at whatever time you're tuning in. Welcome to Business Matters Podcast with Laura Nowlan. And I just want to give a big shout out right now to our sponsor, CS Now Staffing. Make sure that you click on the link below and follow us. Today I have my friend here with us. Her name is Lydia Dominguez. She works right now for Clark County School Board. She's a trustee, and she's also running for Congress for District 3 in Las Vegas. And, I want you to know that nothing is scripted.
Yeah.
We speak from the heart, we shoot from the hip.
Yes.
And so welcome to the show. I want our audience to know a little bit about you, of how you actually got here to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Are you originally from here?
Yeah.
Share that story so they can get to know you on a personal level.
And thank you so much, Laura, for having me. And as you can see, I have no notes, so it definitely is from the hip. And I think this is awesome. This platform is great to have. I was born in Juarez, Mexico, raised in El Paso, Texas. I just a little Mexican girl that became a citizen at 14, and just humbled by the American dream and the love for our country. I joined the United States Air Force. I served for 10 years, and it was a labor of love. And through that, I got stationed at Creech Air Force Base, if you know where that is, in Indian Springs.
Yes.
And so some people don't know, but I was stationed here, and that's what brought me to Vegas. And I was here doing COVID and the shutdowns, and that's what initially got me down here.
Well, first, thank you so much for your service. And, I'm also an immigrant just like you, from Mexico as well. And so you speak Spanish fluently then?
Sí, claro que sí.
Mira nomás. Okay, qué
sí,
bueno.
Sí,
Good.
No.
And so then you were in the military. Did you ever get a job after as a civilian?
Yeah.
Or, what made you run?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. So, and I do want to clarify, because you said I work for the Clark County. I was elected.
Thank you. Thank you.
I did want to clarify that.
Yes.
So, my career in the Air Force ended so the Biden administration had, through the Department of Defense, issued the COVID-19 mandate to get the vaccine. And so through that, I decided I'm going to stand for my religious views and not take the vaccine, which was a difficult decision to make. And that got me out of the Air Force, honorably discharged. And it ended my career. So from there, kind of a little lost. I was very much involved with politics. I started my own little small business, creating websites and doing things for candidates. I started even ride sharing. I did end up getting a job for I'll say the garbage services out here, which was a really fun time that I did.
Okay.
And then from there, I decided I'm just going to run for office. And I was just so frustrated with the leadership in our community. I was frustrated with, I think I can do it better. I feel like they're not listening. I feel like they're not applying themselves to this position, and I just wanted to do things better. And I jumped in, and I ran in a really large district. It's a congressional sized district, and on a little tiny school board budget. And we won with 57% of the vote. And it was a tremendous journey to go through, running as a first time candidate and winning. That blew it out of the water. So I was really excited to do that. And being a trustee has been it's been an absolute amazing journey. It's been the good, the bad, the ugly. I've been enjoying it all. So it's definitely something that I've learned a lot through.
What advice would you give someone that is looking to possibly run?
Yeah. In the short version, I would say grow thicker skin.
I've heard that before.
In the long version, I would say you have to take a deep look at yourself and see, are you ready for that journey? Because the journey will be difficult. It won't be easy. And I think the journey being difficult will prune you for the position.
Okay.
If that makes sense. And I know that's very deep, but I think God puts us through trials, and at the end of the trial, we didn't know why we were going through the trial, and then we find out why, or what is the outcome of that. And so I think the journey really does shape you, and you have to be ready for that. So I know that's super deep, but yeah, we had a long 3-hour forum. We could probably go into it deeper.
Right. And so then you're an immigrant. You fell in love with this country.
Yeah.
14 years old, you became a U.S. citizen.
Yeah.
You served our country, right?
Yeah.
And only because I know you, I know you're a mother.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. You even started doing some gigs there, like a gig worker.
Yeah.
So I think you understand business sense.
Yeah.
You entered into the school district, which, what a mess.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a mess. When you first ran for the position, did you believe, I'm going to make a difference? I'm going to be able to make changes.
Yeah.
And then the next question on that one would be, were you able to?
Yeah, I love
or
that.
Is it going to take many more years before there could be some changes?
Yes, what a great question. Okay, so and I'll start with my parents, because my parents always raised me to stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mm-hmm. My parents always raised me to only show the American flag and only be proud of that flag because of the country that has given you so much opportunity, and to appreciate that opportunity. So that's where it really started. And my kids, you as being a mom and just seeing your family grow, right, and seeing the beauty of the generations coming through. I cannot wait, but I am excited. When I had my kids, I just want that dream for them. I want those opportunities for them. Oh, yes. And so joining the school board, I was like, I have to fight for my kids here today. And, and I'll even back up so in 2024, Clark County School District had a superintendent that left. They had a CFO that had also left. There's a lot of debate over how he left. It was being shown or a lot of statements were being made about they were in a deficit, and the school board budget was in a deficit. And also the other thing was too that there were 2 trustees that had left. And so it was a lot of disarray and a lot of uncertainty. And so I came in as a fresh start, and there was actually 4 new trustees. So we were a big new group.
All newbies.
We were a new group, a new team. And, even though we all have completely polar opposite political viewpoints, we all keep getting centered with our kids. And that has been the center of the team that we have today. And so I'm super proud of what we've done. One of the biggest accomplishments that we have is hiring our superintendent. And our superintendent has been an absolute star. And she has absolutely turned this district around in just a few months. But jumping into the superintendent search was incredible, and it was a new process I'd never been a part of. And in the Air Force, I'd been a part of hiring processes, as you know. Like staffing is very important, and hiring the right person in the right position is very important, and having the right leader is very, very important. Sets the tone for the company, right? And so the superintendent is like our CEO of the district, and it was very important that we as the board set the tone for the district. And so we absolutely love our superintendent and the direction she has put our district in. So I think I am really excited to see things. Of course, there's always things to be fixed, but I see a lot of hope in our future for our district and things to be turned around.
Good. I know that right now, I think are we like 49 or 48 right now?
Yeah, it's hard to tell because I know that there's some measurements that we're low, but then we have schools that have absolutely turned into all-stars. So their star rating is going up. So that's really great. Yeah. But we do have to recognize there's like I think it's like we're at 300 we're way over 300 schools. So, and we have about 280,000 kids. So that's a lot of kids. And so when you look at ratings, it is kind of weird because we do have high ratings in some schools, high absenteeism in other schools, but then we have low absenteeism and low, so it's kind of a weird balance that we have to take, but we have to take the good and the bad and the ugly with it. And so, there's some schools that need improvement, and there's some schools that are doing astronomically amazing, and that we're allowing our principals to have the freedom to test, pilot things, and to see what works, how much things can work if we let our kids take more control and do different programs. So it's kind of interesting.
How has it impacted our school system by having families take charge, and a lot of them now homeschool their kids after COVID, right? Or even during COVID, because it was like, what a mess.
Yeah.
You know, they got to, I know for my daughter, she got to see, she like tried to put my first grandson in kindergarten, and then COVID hit. So it was like, what a mess watching on the cameras. And she's like, okay, he didn't even last a week.
Yeah.
She pulled him right back out.
Yeah.
So what are you seeing right now?
Yeah.
Is it a positive impact? Is it
Yeah.
affecting us? You know, what do you see?
What a great question, because we just did this in the school. We just went over this on the school board regular meeting. And so, and then even as a mom, right, I closed my son's laptop and I was like, we need to get it. You're going outside. Like, let's go outside. Let's get out of here. And so even I went through that pain and suffering with my own kids. And but when we went to the school board meeting recently, we were talking about proficiency rates and through English and math, and you see they have all of these data points, and you see the incredibly difficult, I guess, challenges that we experienced and that caused our kids to be, just academically set back.
Yes.
From COVID.
Yes.
Shutting our schools down was not the right choice.
Right.
Shutting our schools down set our kids back. And today, where we are today, we are back to where we were pre-COVID, if that makes sense. So even though and I understand the argument, people are like, well, your proficiency rates are still at 48%. That's still terrible. And I get that. That's not good. But you have to understand, we're back at 48% to being lower than that, because we went lower because of COVID. And the kids really did regress, and the kids really did get stagnant. And so I think our teachers, I have to try to be positive, right? Because you can't just be constantly negative. You have to try to see the people that are doing the work, and you have to acknowledge when they're putting in the effort to change things. And these teachers these principals have put in the work to go and bring these kids back, bring their proficiency rates back. And yes, it is during COVID and they weren't the best, but we're back on track. And so that's all we want, is to just keep trying and keep being back on track.
No, so I mean, there's a lot of great teachers out there. I've had the opportunity of volunteering since 2015 with, first we were volunteering with Arturo Cambero Elementary School, then after that, Del Robinson Middle School, and now the Lord's blessed us with Cristo Rey. So we get to start with them next week sometime, and they have 255 students. But we went from elementary to middle school, and now it's going to be a high school that we'll be working with. Sometimes you get teachers who are just completely burnt out. Yeah. And I think with your position, I think that we need more eyes on that, where the teacher has gotten to the point where they no longer enjoy it. Yeah. Right? They're miserable coming to work, and then you can actually tell with the kids.
Yeah. No, I see that. Yeah, and I appreciate that, because it happens in the military a lot. Burnout is a real thing. So, and when I go into the classroom, I see what amazing work they're doing. And honestly, I see why they keep coming back, because the love for the kids is so incredibly strong. And so what I have noticed, when you start at the leadership level, it really helps to set the morale, because they really feel like the direction of the district is going in the right hands. The first day of school that we had, which is always typically I've heard is chaotic, it went off so smoothly this year. Principals, regional superintendents, everybody has been empowered to do their job. Everybody has been given, you are your subject matter expert in your field. Yes. Go do your job. And that nobody's, even though they may be afraid or whatever of past issues, that has been the most empowering thing that our superintendent has done. And so, it's been really great to see that. And then they've been working a lot on the community engagement, and they have like a morale team. So they go out and they do a lot. They've been putting out more things for that too. So we're trying to give them opportunities, and we're trying to reach out to these teachers so they're not in burnout mode. Yes. And I know even Just looking, at the macro level, right? This district has 44,000 employees. It is the largest employer of Clark County. It is the third largest of the state. And so
yeah, because I thought actually it was even bigger than MGM now.
Yeah.
Is it not?
It is, yeah.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
huge.
it's huge, yeah. It's like really huge. So it's, you got to make sure it's like, yes, the teachers, but we got to take care of everybody because we got everyone. And so we have a huge transportation team, maintenance team. I mean, we have teams that are, everybody's putting in the work, and I love it. And yes, we do have to take care of our teachers, but we got to make sure our support staff is taken care of. We got to make sure our food facilities are taken care of. Everybody needs to be making sure that we're keeping up the morale.
I'm glad you brought up food because I noticed something. I've been here in Las Vegas for the last 19 years, and so my kids got to experience middle school and high school here. And I will tell you that I was very disappointed on the type of lunch that they were having. Cheetos, they would bring in... some days that they would have, like it's restaurant type of food. So just watching them, that they were being able to buy cups of hot noodle soup that really is a cup full of salt, right? And I just volunteered the other day to speak at a high school, Spring Valley High School, to 35 to 40 students. And I asked the instructor, do you mind if I bring snacks? And it was like, ooh, got to be very careful with the snack issue because we're really now paying attention what we're feeding the kids. But because it was after school, he said, it's okay. Believe me, I'm not going to bring you anything that I wouldn't feed my own grandkids. Yeah. I brought, healthy stuff for the kids. But so then I'm like, whoa, there's a change there.
Yeah. So this is a perfect segue into me as a candidate and running in Congressional District 3. And that's a perfect segue into this. I love the Make America Healthy Again movement.
Yes, so do I.
I love that Trump appointed Robert Kennedy Jr. as the Secretary of HHS. And I think that the movement has been so important to bringing back some kind of structure, because as an overall picture, as a high level viewpoint, the food facilities, not just in our schools, but like food in general in our country has just gone unmanaged. So we are having a lot of fillers, a lot of toxins being added to our food. And so when you go down to the school level, it is so highly managed by the federal government. The school district cannot change anything with the food because it is so heavily regulated by the federal government. And so and you can't even have I think they even removed gum recently and stuff. So it's weird things you're like, why are we adding this if that's high sodium but not this? So they were using a lot of old measurements and a lot of old previous the food pyramids and all that stuff. They were using old data. I love that. We're starting to change that. We're starting to look at things and how can we make our kids' food healthier again? And some of these cereals too, we talk about they have so much dyes and they have so many things that don't necessarily need to be in cereals. And I'm not going to call out a brand, but it's definitely really interesting when you start digging into our food and why do our kids have ADHD? Why do our kids have autistic tendencies? Why are they having all these issues in school and they can't sit still? It's because of the food they're eating. So, as a candidate, I'm super excited to see and to try to see what we can do on a federal level to try to help make sure that we're not feeding the American people toxic food.
Right.
And so I love this idea. I would love to hop on bills with anyone to see what we can do on that. And that's been part of my labor of love with with running as a congressional candidate.
Awesome. I know corn syrup is almost in everything. We definitely need to pull corn syrup out. Most of us are all addicted to corn syrup. It's disgusting. Yeah, it really is. And then we wonder why people have diabetes.
And I tell my kids, I'm like, turn the thing around. It says genetically modified.
Right.
So it's been interesting and kind of teaching my kids too, hey, this stuff is genetically modified. So But yeah, no, it's that's been interesting. And but what I've seen as a school board candidate is that, not a candidate, as a trustee, what I've seen is that our federal government is so overreaching in so many parts of our lives. And so, and then I continuously see people enriching themselves off of insider trading. And I'm just so tired of it, Laura. That's why I decided to run. And that's why I decided to jump in, is because, I feel like I can do a better job. I feel like I can win that race. And I feel like I stand out because, and my race is starting to get a little crowded, but even so, it's a little crowded, and it's fine. It's all good. But you know what? I stand out even against Susie Lee because I am the only person that is ever served our country. And I'm the only one that's ever raised my hand to be naturalized citizen. I'm the only one that's won a race. And mami, soy la única que puede hablar en español. I'm the only one that can speak in Spanish. And so I love going out, and I love talking to people. I love that grassroots movement, and I love going out and going to neighborhoods that don't typically see Republicans and don't typically see people with other ideas, and knowing that we can talk about the chemicals in our food.
Right.
We can talk about the overreach in our government and things like that. So it's been fun to go down that journey.
How can our audience assist you in your race, or how can they help support you even in the position that you have right now? What plea would you have with our audience?
Yeah, no, I'm really excited. So one of the biggest things is to host me and to have me come into your home and be able to hold a fundraiser, or just meeting voters. I love meeting people, so it's always so good. And honestly, even just, we just right now we're fundraising, and even if you feel like I can only donate $25, I can only donate $200, every single dollar helps to go and get my name out there, every single dollar. And so I am not a millionaire, and no offense to millionaires. I love them. I love that they do, they're contributing to the community. But I'm a single mom. I have 2 kids. I'm an Air Force veteran. I'm just trying to go out and serve our country. I'm trying to go out and do the best thing I can for our nation, and to fight for our country, and to make sure that we have the American dream for our kids. So hosting me at your house, contacting me. My website is lydia4nv.com, and you can go out and search me on Instagram or Facebook, Lydia R. Dominguez, and reach out, and I'll come out to your house. We'll do an event, and we'll do or donate to my campaign.
So at first, there's a certain time frame where you guys are really focused on raising money.
Yeah.
And then after that, you're looking for more of volunteers, or can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah.
What are the steps?
Yeah. I don't think anybody kind of goes through the steps, but yeah. You do go through a large phase of just steps. So as a congressional candidate, it is by quarter. So the yearly quarter, and because it's kind of fun because everybody looks at each other's report to see, John raised this, Lydia raised that. So it's kind of interesting, and it's competitive. So if I'm not looking as I'm a competitive candidate, I won't be taken seriously. And so that's why it's so important to fundraise, and it's so important. And even if you look at candidates like Anna Paulina Luna out in Florida, she was able to fundraise so much money off low propensity donations. And what does that mean? $100 donations, $200 donations. And she was able to make her movement happen just with those small donations. And so I do need the big ones, but also a lot of little ones. So that's great. Those kind of donations do help. And then once you get further into the year, you start going into putting out signs, you start going out door knocking. I have so many parents, Laura, that are ready to door knock. They are like, let's go. And I'm like, wait, I gotta fundraise.
Right, you gotta get the money first.
Yeah, I gotta fundraise for the flyers. So they are ready to go, and they're excited, and they're fired up, and I'm excited to let them go. And I can't wait to start asking people to join the team and come out and door knock with us.
Yeah. Well, I know that you joined early on. You joined Nevada Hispanic Business Group. I'm one of the co-founders of the organization. Yeah. Really appreciate you joining us and being part of our group.
Yeah.
Love the support. So thank you. And so, yes, we definitely want to see how we can support you as well. I don't live in that district. So I can't vote for you. As a nonprofit organization, we can't endorse any candidates. But as individuals and as small business owners, more than happy to help in any way that we can. I'm going to ask you a stupid question, and you can make a decision if you want to answer it or not. Let's say, because let's say something would happen and you did not win. What happens to the position you have right now? Do you stay in that seat, or is it also open again for someone else's running
that's a great question.
for that
Thank
position? That was my first question. My second question, let's say you didn't win. Let's say the same Congresswoman stayed in that position. Would you be interested in maybe giving her ideas and working hand in hand with her? Because what I'm seeing is like, dang it, I wish we would stop looking at parties and really look and focus on our community. So it's up to you if you want to answer any of those questions.
Yes, thank you. And so you don't have to give up your seat to run. And I won't lose my seat if I lose. But if I win, I would have to step down, and somebody would be appointed to my position.
To your position.
And so yes, and then with if someone else wins, or even if Susie Lee won, what I've noticed with Congresswoman Susie Lee is she continuously votes with the Democrat Party 99% of the time. And so unfortunately, I feel like even if I did go talk to her, which I know a lot of groups have, and I'm more than happy to talk to her, I feel like it would go on deaf ears, and I don't feel like we would get any momentum, and there would not be any bipartisan movement there. So unfortunately, I could do the work, and I would love to talk to her, but I'm not sure her voting would change at all. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. No, very clear. Thank you.
Yeah.
In closing, what else would you like to share with?
I want to make sure I add this disclosure. I didn't add it at the beginning.
Yes.
I speak on myself as an individual, not on behalf of the school board. And I'm also very excited to obviously run as a congressional candidate. And please reach out to me for any support. I would love to gain your vote, gain your support, and continue to move our movement, because the American dream is worth fighting for.
Definitely. It's been a pleasure having you on this show, a Latina running for Congresswoman. I love it. So keep up the good work.
Thank you, Laura.
God bless. Till the next time.